preparing for interview. Okay, so that time you should have conversation skills. What is conversation skill? That interviewing among all the craft fundamental of ills, all else be writer does. But writer may occasionally write short article without interviewing the anyone, but most article of the substance require interviews to get the complete story. Some writer they seen be conversationalist than others. Conversation skills writer is conducting interview, but interviewing is a craft with skill and developed will intro. Someone feel interviews fair, so writing requires journalist who can interview a source, take note, a discussion, transcribe their notes, and their memory of the what was said and who can be arranged conveys reader. Many otherwise skills journalists fear the interview. Some don't know how to prepare for a setup interview. Some are not sure that how conduct interviews, and other lack confidence in their ability to carry on the conversation. These all are the fear that can ease to practice any for the mechanical equipment interviewing easily learned. Interview equipment, so clothing is very important. You should try to write you should try to expect best dress you have. The idea is that clothes make unspoken introduction. The writer clothes indicate your level of understanding and respect for the interviews what he does. Suitable clothing helps to set interviews at else. They believe you understand them the what they do clothes. However, anyone expect the putting interview at a voice recorder. You should have a very good voice recorder whenever you are going for interview. And advent to voice recorder, many reporters have used them in the interviewing process. Unfortunately, some people are uncomfortable with voice recorder. Some people have a reason, other have no idea why it disturb them. Before using a voice recorder in an interview, explain that you use the recorder, get your code right, the reference for your notes. When writing the story, then ask if they would mind you using it, abide by the decision. If a subject agree, but it become obvious during the interview that they are still nervous about the voice recorder, but turn it off, put it away. That will happen rarely. And another excellent reason for this here is to allow the reporter to take note the most important point, will being able to be more accurately listen and watch the interview for the reaction, presentation, posture, and feelings. The writer may find these observations useful to writing the article. Voice recorder also allow the journalist to hear himself and study how the conducted the interview. It can be good tool forward improving on self. Okay, voice recorder be, if using a voice recorder, try to use one with a counter, set with a counter to zero. The start down the counter, the greatly speed up transcription processes. And there are the disease ones using the voice recorder, other like using some people be noxious. Even new batteries may be dead and batteries may be die during the interview. This problem can be fixed by using power cord plug and recorder. However, power supplies can fail, other may be unavailable, but equipment can have an internal failure as well. Another disadvantage of recorder is that they record everything. Electronic ringing telephone, slamming doors, sound are often ignored through selective listening, but recorders cannot selectively listen. Your interview can often mask it by sound you didn't notice during the interview. No reporter should depend wholly to voice recorder in the interview. On professionally embarrassment for asking the second interview. Few editors will tolerate such failure, and fewer interview willingly grant a second interview. The voice recorder must be backed up, the most fundamental rule and skill to interview. Indeed, may writer stress and record should be only backup pad and pen the note taking skills. The importance of note taking, so the advantage of note taking is the equipment failure difficult. The writer goes the interview sufficient paper, pencils, and pens should be able on the constant. And the note taking, always carry a spare pen and pencil for writing the note taking whenever you are taking interview. Additionally, note taking has an advantage of lying the complete interview in front of the reporter. tape recording habit, transcript type, the open accounts, and listening the interview several time. Okay, note taking that and choosing location. Interviewing may be conducted in most of the any location, but there are the several things to reporters should consider when location are left open to the writer. The newspaper office is advantage of limiting travel the writer, but may be disadvantage of interviews to travel, convenience and time. It may also be poor location because there are usually few quiet places in the newspaper office where interview can be conducted without interruption. The interview are conducted in the newspaper office. Policy should detect that the reporter conducting interview are not be interrupted in telephone calls or office business. It should be used the reporter writing conducting the interview in the source office. The interviewer conducting either person office and reporter should be arranged to have as interview as possible. In some instance, the reporter serves are the shortling away the interview are conducted to limit interruption to advise the source that you need X amount of the time finish the many sources co-worker interrupt the such circumstances. Yeah, so this was the our introduction about news and interviews.